Hey, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my deck. I decided to paint something today that as I was leaving the Santa Barbara area last week, I took this photograph that really was pretty inspirational. So I just love the scene and the way this line in the road sort of really tells the story of the, going down this hill, kind of back out to kind of the main road from that park where I painted. And so I've got a sketch here of where I'm headed, and it's an interesting study because it's mostly a lot of darks with some really close values. And then the remainder is, it's going to take some fairly accurate color mixing. So I've got my board with me so that I can figure out exactly what I'm doing with these new colors and what I need to achieve here. And I can tell you that a lot of this painting is like in this range right here. The majority of it. So I've got these really darks and even some kind of dark purples, but mostly these earth tone dark greens, and then these lighter greens in here, and then the sky color is actually really similar to this up here. So you can see the value of the board. So I'm gonna get the camera set up here and see what we can do with this one. All right. So I'm working with this photograph, and I don't know if I'll need the really big brush today. I think I'm gonna do it anyway, just because I'm getting used a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of keep that rhythm going. And I'm going to start out with just kind of a washy, get some white, titanium white, and some of this Hansa yellow light here. Putting quite a bit of Gamsol in that. And I'm just gonna touch the phthalo blue green shade there, and I believe I'm already in the neighborhood of where I'm headed here, so let's give this a try. Yes, that's kind of nice to see. So now that I know where I'm going, I can actually get some more paint here and mix this up correctly. Now, it really helped a lot that I had my board there to give me a kind of a head start on what I'm doing. So and I can tell do this a couple times. A little bit bluer up in this corner here. Boy, if you don't mix that phthalo blue thoroughly, it just comes off the brush owning everything. I think what I like about this big brush the most is that it keeps me from getting kind of fussy with a smaller brush, because I'm just making some big strokes here. So and I'm just catching a reference point Just glancing at my photograph occasionally. I'm intentionally looking at my photograph on my phone because I don't want to get all wrapped up in a bunch of detail. So that's the best way to combat that. And we'll make adjustments to the sky as we go along. So not trying to get too caught up in it at the moment. Just want to get it in there. And then right down in here, I kind of got some of the same color. Just going to throw it in there for now. Just peeking through these trees down here. Mainly going to just throw it in here for value relationship at the moment. Okay. Let's clean that one out. We'll put that big boy aside. And the next thing I want to do is get some of these darks. Red, blue, and blue, and I believe really the darkest tree I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna start with this burnt sienna, and I'm gonna go to the blue, ultramarine blue. And just see what we have here. It's very much a grayish green color. And but it's pretty light in that when I half tone it, so that's not the darkest thing I want. And it might be that I want to mix it with the dowel blue. That pushes it a totally different direction. But that's probably closer to what I want, so there we go. And that's this tree right here. Very, very dark. Just big shapes. All I'm trying to do right now. Just get these big shapes in here. This one hangs out over the road, so now I've got what I believe to be my darkest dark and my lightest light. Now I can take that mix and I can just warm it up a little bit. And then this shade over here is actually going to be over in this area. Again, I'm just trying to lay in the darks. And then I'm going to maybe get a little yellow ochre in that for this one that's right at the bottom here. And then I'm going to go back blue. for these that kind of rest down in here. So still dark, but somewhat blue. Okay, now we'll go back to the other dark I had a minute ago, which is just going to be the burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. Burnt sienna. And we're going to throw that in for these trees over here. So. Right, and then we got some dark hedges here, and I'm just going to give them a little bit of a different, still going to be fairly dark, maybe not dark enough yet. All right, and then we'll just kind of got kind of a lighter value that's resting just in behind here. It's got quite a bit of blue in it. So I'm just going to pick that up. And then there's a tree in the distance here that's just catching a little light over here that sits back over here. So I'm just going to throw that in here. Just sits in behind here just a little bit. And behind this one. And once I get to here, that value will change because it's actually part of this. So, all right, so let's get this gray. Let's get this gray in the road area. This brush actually, it's just kind of splayed out and everything, but I really like using it for scrubbing because it works out really well. It kind of throws paint everywhere, like into the sky and stuff, but the sky is just a wash right now anyway, so I'm not really too concerned about that at this point. I'll come back and pick that up. Now we've got these, we have these varying layers of, let's see here. Um, it's ultramarine blue and the green. I'm going to clean up this palette real quick so we can sort of mix. I think I'll skip the road for a second, get these get these mountains established. And the reason I wanted to do this painting is because I knew it would require some accurate mixing, and I'm really trying to get used to this new palette as quickly as I can. And fortunately, I'm at home. I don't usually take my my coloring board out in the field with me, so it's kind of nice to be here and have access to that as I'm working on this. Just gonna leave that little pool of gray over there because that might come in handy in a minute. Let's see if I can find a better location here. I'm working with a new microphone. But I still have to figure out exactly where to put it, and so I'm kind of working on that. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure you're not in glare. It doesn't appear like it is, so hopefully that works out good. Just make double sure here. All right. We'll soften some edges as we go here. But I want to come in now and basically, before I come over top of this with these trees and stuff, I'm going to actually go back to the sky, and I'm going to take some of the Hansa. It's very light value, It's gonna just barely touch the blue. I don't need much of this at all. See how that looks in here. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm just working this kind of up into the sky a little bit. Just letting it blend a bit with this sky color. But mostly I needed to get the horizon just a little bit later. And I'm just gonna glaze a little bit over some of that area. I'm gonna just put a bunch of medium in here and get a very soupy, kind of a soupy mix. Do a little bit of the same back here. This one is just a little bit too, it's got some other ridges in it. So the road is very purple. And I'm gonna tone it down a little bit just by pulling in its cross complement, a little yellow. And see what this looks like. That took it to red, so I got to go back to blue. All right, this might be the middle ground color. Yeah, that's very much the middle ground color, and even just a touch more blued. Get some of the load out of this brush here real quick. A little more blue. All right, so now I'm starting to work along this roadside here, and I've got some like grass that's growing and catching some light right on this edge here. And then it just gets blue, a little bit blued as it gets further away, because it sort of continues like on this edge down here along this road. There's like a few rocks that are just sitting down in here. Like we got one that's maybe like right here. And then there's some like little twigs and things that are just kind of catching some light on the back side of that. So they're just kind of growing out of here. So don't need much, just a little bit. All right, so now we're into just kind of defining some of these, like this tree and this tree and this tree. I just added a little bit of texture down in here, and I'll get a little bit more in here as well. Some of these just bushes and things are just kind of growing up across there. We need to fill that in a little bit. It's just a little bit too much, and some of this tree will actually come down into there as well. I was working on getting that area a little bit defined, and just getting it a little better in here. All right, so I think that's probably about it for this one. There might be just one little area that I need to do a little bit more work on, but I'll figure that one out. I've got to do a couple things with these tree trunks and get that squared away, and keeping most of these values close together actually worked out pretty well, and de-emphasizing some things with shape and form worked out well. I do need to, out on the horizon there's just a little plateau with a tree on it that I want to get in there. So anyway, that's what I've got so far. As far as the atmosphere goes, I think I got what I was looking for. So that makes me pretty excited. And but hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. As you know, I do appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, I invite you to hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss any of these videos. And hey, I'll catch you later.